Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Regalado, and on behalf of everyone working behind the scenes, I'd like to thank you for joining Country First Civic Duty Campfire. We're honored you've taken some time to join us in reflecting on the importance of good, reasonable people coming together to make democracy healthier and work better for everyone. Here at Country First, we welcome all reasonable people of goodwill, from all parties and of none. And we're creating a home for the reasonable majority, many of whom feel politically homeless. Yet we're all bound by the belief that we must put our country before party, and that we're Americans before anything else. The Country First movement is a national grassroots movement composed of hundreds of thousands of members from all across the country and every state in the United States. Some of you might here tonight might be new, and others you might join us since January 2021. Either way, we would not be here today without all of our committed volunteers and members, and we're just so excited for all there is ahead. As we all know, 2024 is a year that matters like never before, with democracy under assault at home and abroad. Country First is mobilizing like never before to meet this moment. And so I wanted to let everyone in on our top three priorities from now to the end of 2024. Every campfire, every volunteer initiative, and every single correspondence that you will receive will be about one of these top three priorities. Of course, they are preventing Donald Trump, the wannabe dictator, from returning to the White House, defending the front lines of freedom in Ukraine, and mobilizing in key primary elections against MAGA extremes, like the two you see here in Colorado 4 and Washington 3. And of course, there'll be more, and we're excited to let you know throughout the summer where we'll be throughout this country and where we'll be mobilizing with our volunteer army. And all these top three priorities wouldn't be possible without the vision of our founder, Congressman Adam Kinzinger. So I'd like to welcome him to the stage, our founder, as well as veteran of the U.S. Air Force, Congress, and January 6th committee. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Kinzinger. So, Congressman, I just want to jump right in for us tonight. This is going to be a big year, as we just discussed. So, our top three priorities. Let's start with Ukraine. Can you tell us of where your head and heart is with defending Ukraine now that we've seen movement
Yeah,
in the House?
you bet. Good to see everybody, or those I can see. Good to hear from a lot of you. Let me just first off say, before we get started, I want to acknowledge somebody on this call. His name is Rich Lodges. He's from an organization called Perfect Our Union. His Twitter handle is at Perfect Our Union. Basically, he's a former MAGA guy who came and saw the light, and now he's really giving others a place and a home to go to. And I just wanted to acknowledge him on this and the good work he's doing and giving these folks a home. So, look, Andrew, many have forgotten the greatness of this country and, frankly, the honor we have in the role that we play in the world. The fight in Ukraine, it's bigger than just Ukraine. Ukraine's helping us fight back against Russia and, more broadly, authoritarianism. So at Country First, we obviously promote democracy and freedom at home and abroad, and the world is watching what we do. China's watching, Iran is watching. Authoritarians want to know if they can trample democracy and freedom without cost, or if it's not worth even trying. And Ukraine's inspiring people around the world to take a stand for freedom, especially in Georgia. Congress is failing because MAGA extremists, at the direction of former President Trump, they're more interested in playing political games for fame and attention. In a very serious time, they're acting very unseriously. So 2 months ago, Country First launched our Defend Ukraine campaign. We've mobilized our vast volunteer army to make thousands of calls to Congress demanding that they support Ukraine, and it worked thanks to these efforts and thanks to your efforts. Now, I'm excited to announce that our Ukraine operation is actually just getting started. As we approach the months ahead, Country First will be looking to deploy a public education campaign on why continued support for Ukraine's imperative until Vladimir Putin and his barbaric tactics are defeated. This is going to come back up again. This isn't something we're not going to talk about anymore, a war that's going to go away, and it's important for us to build this groundwork now. So with our new ad campaign, we're scaling those efforts up to demand even bigger action, and we're highlighting why Ukraine support, not just now, but continuing into the future, is absolutely necessary. So to grow on our wins, we need your support. I want to bring up a great person, Dave Rapids, to tell us more about how you can get involved and support these efforts. Dave, I've talked a lot about why defending Ukraine matters
Mhm.
and why I've set this as a priority for Country First. Can you tell everyone how they can mobilize to support this?
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. Last week, we had 5 days of action where we mobilized hundreds of volunteers to make thousands of direct contacts to members of Congress, urging them to support the necessary aid Ukraine requires. And there will be more days of action to come. So, to be the first to know about when and how to join us, be sure to join our volunteer Slack, private Facebook group, and keep an eye out on our website. Now, if you can't join us for a day of action, you can help us grow the impacts of our ad campaign and support our critical mission through your generosity and your donations. If you have a few dollars to spare, they go a long way towards helping to activate and awaken the reasonable majority and to defend the front lines of freedom at home and abroad. You can give on our website at www.country1st.com/donate. And finally, you can mobilize with Adam and the whole Country First team by signing and sharing our petition demanding big, bold, and strong support for Ukraine. Thousands of Americans have already signed our petition, and with your name joining them, I know we can be even louder and more effective at demanding support for Ukraine. Throwing it back to you, Adam.
Thanks so much, Dave, for sharing a little bit about how we can mobilize to support and act on what Adam has shared with us about Ukraine. But Congressman, I wanted to change gears here a little bit. There's a topic top of mind for everyone, and it's going to consistently be top of mind from now till November. It's about preventing Donald Trump from returning to the White House. You set this as priority number one. Can you share an update with us on your thoughts on the current state of the presidential election?
Yeah, like, wow, this is a big important thing. This is like the most important moment in, I don't want to say American democracy, because obviously a lot has happened in American democracy from its founding, but certainly in my lifetime, I believe it is absolutely the most important election. I want to talk about something kind of a little different. So, third parties, RFK Jr. and third parties do nothing but help Donald Trump. We saw that with no labels. And even after months of no labels denying that they were what they were doing with a unity ticket, that it was dangerous, that it was going to help Trump, it got to a point where they really couldn't pretend anymore that it wasn't going to inadvertently help him. And they ultimately ended the efforts to their credit. RFK Jr. is no different. So preventing another MAGA presidency matters in a world that's looking to us to lead. You know, we just talked about Ukraine, our importance of defending democracy overseas. And I did a lot of that when I was in Congress. That was kind of my passion. But we don't do a lot of, or we never thought we really had to do a lot of defending democracy here at home. And that's what this is. That's what this election side of the battle is about. Defend Ukraine, defend freedom here at home. So at my direction, Country First will be mobilizing in key states like Michigan and like Pennsylvania, which you're going to hear a lot about between now and Election Day. In 2022, MAGA attempted a takeover of the Michigan General Assembly. To counter this, Country First unleashed a campaign that made something like over 1.3 million voter contacts and won 90% of the races that we targeted. This operation in 2022 taught us the lay of the land in Michigan, and it's allowing us to scale in 2024 to prevent Trump from winning Michigan. This is obviously going to be one of the biggest battleground states. The operation in Pennsylvania is going to mirror Michigan, where Country First will use a two-pronged approach, investing in on ground activities as well as voter contact through digital resources, texting, etc. Looking at the data, we believe that to help ensure a Donald Trump defeat, Michigan and Pennsylvania, from what we can do and where we're concerned, are the two most vital battleground states where we can have an impact. I don't want to waste resources and I don't want to waste your time. I want to spend that specifically where we can have a massive impact. I've been in a lot of discussions with our team to determine how Country First will engage in the fight against MAGA. And I want to bring up the handsome Greg to tell all of us a little more about tell all of us a little more about these plans going forward. So, Greg, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, sir. And as the congressman mentioned, we're really excited about what we can do to have an impact coming up this summer and this fall in two battleground states that we have determined really are the most important when we're looking at the data on preventing Donald Trump from ever seeing the Oval Office again. And so, as he mentioned, we will be making an impact in those states as big as we can with a rifle shot strategy approach, because as Mr. Kinzinger mentioned, we want to be strategic and smart with the resources we have. We don't want to double up on work that others are doing to where it's just becoming, superfluous. But in addition to that, we're also going to be looking to engage and have an impact on the congressional level and state races as well. In 2022, we launched our Primary First program, and it was successful beyond what we even imagined at the time we were developing it. And we've taken that approach from 2022 and really refined it into 2024, and two races that we're very excited about having an impact in and we plan to engage in are Colorado 4, where Lauren Boebert is running. She originally and still is the representative from Colorado 3. She decided to run in a more friendly Republican district in Colorado 4, but through our data research, it's a crowded primary, and a lot of people are kind of tired of the antics that she has put forth, and we believe we can have an impact there. Additionally, we'll be looking at Washington 3, where that race was decided by something like 1,500 votes in 2022. The incumbent is Congresswoman Perez. She defeated Joe Kent, a election denier, a January 6th sympathizer, in 2022 by 1,500 votes, and he is running again. This will be a tier 1 race, maybe one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive race in 2024. And we believe with our strategy, we can have an impact on that race, because this race, again, will probably come down to something like 1,500 votes. And we want to make sure that, again, election deniers like Joe Kent are not in the halls of Congress. So those are two that we're excited about. But what you can do also on your end in helping our impact on this is save your primary election date, know when it is. If your primary has passed, look for opportunities to join one of our days of action in races that we will engage in, and then identify the dominant party making up your district. Switch your voter registration to vote in closed primaries. And if you don't know whether or not you live in a closed primary state, don't hesitate to contact us, and we will get you the information you need right away. Additionally, grassroots opportunities of just educating yourself, looking at the candidates' websites, the local newspapers, writing letters to the editor, that is still important work that does have impact on races. And any races that you may know of in your backyard or your state, no matter how big, no matter how small, please contact us at Country First to take a closer look by emailing info@countryfirst.com. Because while we plan to engage in the two races we mentioned earlier, we are looking to have an impact in anything else that we can strategically have an impact on. So thank you, Mr. Kinzinger, Congressman Kinzinger, for all the work that you have done. We are very excited here on the team to really engage throughout the summer and fall, and I will be handing it back to him.
Well, thanks so much, everyone, to all of our panelists tonight. As we know, this is our civic duty campfire, and that's why we called everyone together tonight to reflect on these top 3 priorities, to kind of snippet what to expect from now to November. But there are a lot of announcements to come, unique days of action, unique programs, and the closer we get to the fall, we're going to be having some in-person gatherings along with both revolving around action, but also some advocacy. So stay tuned. But with that, we are about to transition into our breakout rooms. We thank everyone for joining us here tonight. If you'd like to join a breakout room and meet members from all across the country. All you have to do is go to country1st.com/breakout. It's right here being projected on the screen, and they're going to go live in the next 6 minutes. So we're going to hit a little intermission. We're excited to hear what's on your mind about these 3 priorities, about where the movement's going, and we look forward to keeping you posted on all of our next steps. So thanks again for everyone, and have a great night.